I just hope that one of these videos is going to start out with a facade of a building that doesn't look like this. The little splash screen in the beginning was supposed to be different for each month, but there isn't enough visual difference between the episodes just yet. Yeah, also, now this is happening. It's a shader problem. I don't know what to do about it. Honestly, I think the shaders are starting to cause more problems than, well, I don't think a shader is supposed to propose any solutions to anything. I just think they're supposed to look nice. But yeah, two things about the shaders. First of all, it's supposed to be pitch black outside when it's nighttime, if there's no light source around you, to make it like spookier, which I think is pretty cool, but the shader kind of ruins that. And second of all, I had another one of those blood moons happen that I mentioned in the first episode, but it wasn't red. I think it was a shader, because that was the only difference between this blood moon and the last one. It's like I'm really considering ditching the shader. I don't know, I'll think on it. Because like the being able to see during nighttime when you're not supposed to is kind of funny. It's kind of like I'm rebelling against the design of the game. But the blood moon not being red is a bit of a disappointment, because it was something else, let me tell you, when I first experienced that. Sorry if you guys can hear me sniffling, I've been sneezing a lot today, I don't know why. I think I might be allergic to my own videos, because I am recording this the same day as the Terraria upload. That can't be coincidence. But yeah, as I said, there's not much visual difference in the world right now, but I have made some progress, and this is the extent of all the progress I've made since January, which is a bit disappointing. Did I say January? I meant November. Well, I could have played more of the world over January, but first week of the winter semester, I was just really sleepy for some reason. If I wasn't in class, I was sleeping. That's just how it was. Really weird, I don't know why. Second week, I mean, yeah, I was playing this world a bunch. But then third week, which leads to now, I was working on the Terraria video. So yeah, I didn't play the game as much as I did in November, but I played more than I did in December, and that's what matters. So yeah, Steam Boiler, that's the new major change. The game taught me how to make these things, told me what this water tank was and how to fuel it in, blah, 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 blah. Teaching me a lot of like how the pipes work, the fact that I'm getting hurt if I stand on them, things like that. Very informative. However, there is a blind spot in the tutorials, and it's that I don't know what any of these boxes are supposed to mean. I figured out that I'm supposed to put fuel in here, and I get a byproduct in here, but I don't know what these two boxes are. I tried looking on the wiki, but it, no offense, it gives the vibes that it was written by a 12-year-old, which isn't inherently a bad thing, just not what I'm expecting from a wiki, and also means it didn't really have the information I needed. It just basically said, hey, don't let your stuff explode, and the quest book already tells you about that. So yeah, the big deal about this month was getting this stuff, red alloy ingot. That was the big thing that happened. Pretty much the only thing that happened. Because I needed redstone for that, and I needed quite a lot of redstone for that. The thing is about ores in Greg Tech, and I don't know if I mentioned this already, but ores spawn in these localized veins across the map. Sorry, the UI scale is small. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I just turned down the UI scale so that way this chunk of text at the top left isn't so invasive. Usually I had them turned off for the recordings, but now I'm not bothering. Like, here's an appetite vein, even though I'm not hungry. A salt vein, I love salt. A gold vein, etc., etc. Yeah, I think I mentioned this back in the November episode. Is that I was complaining for a while about trying to find copper. Looking for redstone? Holy hell. I'm gonna have to draw this out in editing. I only had like this lower area here filled in for ore veins. And given the terrible durability you get on your tools from the get-go, it was pretty much a trip back and forth from my house every single time I checked the vein. But eventually I did find a redstone vein. And that was exciting. I immediately fell into a pit of lava afterwards. I was afraid I'd lose everything. Huh? I was afraid I would lose everything, including my sense of speech, I guess. But thankfully, with some quick thinking and some game pausing, I managed to build myself a safe place for my gravestone to land so I could retrieve all my stuff. But briefly, very scary. So yeah, that was most of January, just looking for redstone. But hey, I found it, and I found some diamond veins on the way there, which I'm pretty sure are supposed to be rare. I went ahead and made myself some bronze tools. I was under the assumption that I could just exchange the parts of my existing tools. Like, I already gave them really nerdy names and everything. Like, I was prepared to stick with these. And to be fair, I think later on I will be able to exchange parts. But the game gave me the impression that I could do that from the get-go, and then I find out I have to make entirely new tools, and now I'm disappointed. I mean, it'll be fine, but I have invested pretty heavily into this iron pickaxe here. I finally got myself armor. I don't know why I waited so long. I got myself some backpacks for holding stuff when I went mining. I got myself a sleeping bag. Now that I have like a sustainable amount of cotton, I've been able to do a lot of cotton related things that I was unable to do before. Just generally how progression works. I decided to stop being dumb and let some of my cactus naturally grow so I could actually harvest it. Not that I need cactus for anything besides a side quest. I guess I could fill back in this part of the river that I drained, because now that I have a renewable source of water. Yeah, 96 buckets and stuff. In case you're wondering why that's all the way over there, it's because there's higher humidity, which lets the water fill in faster. As you can see here, I've been doing a lot of alloying with my metals. Yeah, that's right, I'm smart. I say the word alloying. I created a bunch of casts. A lot of these were pretty much just what the game told me to do. I have actually been filling out a lot more of the side quests in the Stone Age, just to kind of clear things up. This next quest is easy, so I imagine that now that this is like a roadblock and I'm gonna be able to get a bunch of stuff. Things are gonna get more complicated from here, aren't they? Oh boy. How do you think I'm gonna feel whenever I get this Pride Month ingot? Oh, I updated my version of GregTech. I was playing on version 2.8.1 when 2.8.4 was already out, and now I've updated to that. Although migrating my saves was scary, I'll be honest. But it's fine, I did it. There's a meteorite over here. That was pretty interesting. Once again, the game just kind of told me to go over there. I'm not really an exploration guy in Minecraft, and I don't think this mod pack revolves around that very much. At least from what I know. I might be completely wrong on that, who knows. Part of the reason why I updated is this stuff. So it turns out that holding or having a lava bucket in your inventory hurts you. I mean, I was already aware of this, but I didn't know how to stop it because I didn't have cotton, and there was a side quest. I was like, oh, you need cotton to not burn your hands. But now that I got cotton, I got this stuff. But in 2.8.1, it wasn't working. So I was like, oh, shoot, what a waste. And I was going to complain about, what does the Baubles ring slot mean? Because these weren't labeled in 2.8.1. But all that's fixed now. So like I had a list of complaints, and then I updated, and the complaints were gone. I'm surprised at how actively updated this is, like, even now. It's weird that sleeping can give you water breathing. I feel like it doesn't make sense. I guess, like, yeah, like, seriously, most of the month was spent searching for this redstone. I know what I could talk about. I don't know if it was obvious already, but I've been terraforming more of the mountain away. It was honestly probably kind of a mistake to just build my house here, but now with better tools and better modifiers on my tools, I have been digging through this stuff a lot faster. I even have a little patch up here to flatten out from the top as well as from the side. Like this whole mountain, I wanna, one of my goals, I wouldn't say my end goal, but one of my goals is to like carve out this entire mountain here and just have this be my base of operations. I didn't want a lawn base, that's why I put the smeltery inside my house, but I think I'm gonna get one considering how much Steam related stuff is going on. Though I do have a plan. I have an idea for a cool looking base that integrates the fact that it is indeed a lawn base. And, you know, I'm only just trying to sound smart by saying lawn base. I did not know that term was a thing until last November, around the same time I started playing this mod pack. You can tell by my XP that I died recently. And it wasn't from the lava thing that I was talking about, it was from a creeper. Because I decided to take a stretch and relax myself for a little bit, and then a creeper snuck up behind me, and I didn't have my volume on, so I didn't know what was happening. Yeah, I was so stupid. That's what that crater over there is. I think that's the last thing that happened to me before I booted up today. Now that I've talked about what I've been up to in the game, I could talk about YouTube. So as I mentioned, I got the Terraria video out, and I like it. I think it's one of my better videos that I've put out recently. I wouldn't say it's perfect. I've definitely had better videos in the past, quite a few of them too. But I just think the way it ends is just really neat. I got to use some songs that I was just always dreaming of using in my videos. Though speaking of Terraria, again, as of recording, it's January 25th, which first of all, I say is earlier than usual for recording these things. But also, 2 days off of Terraria Bigger and Bolder. I'm very excited for Bigger and Bolder. I just hope that it doesn't take up too much of my free time instead of me working on videos and school, I guess. I think that comes first. What else YouTube related can I talk about? Oh, how could I forget? Yeah, the main channel just reached 9,000 subscribers. And that's like really Cool. I don't know, it's just that I'm realizing that the next number, well, 9001, which I've already gotten past, but what I'm trying to say is that 10K is up next, and that's a big deal. Oh shoot, campus is closed tomorrow. I'd talk about the life stuff, but that's a bit too soon. Hold on, I'll get back to that later. What else can I talk about? I guess Hightail released? I don't know, I don't have it. Here's the thing, right? I have a confession to make. I don't actually really like Minecraft. I mean, I do. Minecraft has like a really unique sense of, what's it called? Immersion that I feel like no other game really got. Like every world truly feels like its own story, its own adventure, where you feel so much more personally connected to it. Minecraft excels really well at some things that I would love to see other games do. Good wording, me. But my point is, beyond that, I don't really care for Minecraft as a game. I just think the progression is incredibly boring. I need a sense of purpose. That's why I like Factorio and Terraria so much. They're sandbox games, but honestly, sandbox games are hard to impress me. So I don't really care for Hytale at the moment. I love the concept of the project, and apparently it is a bit Terraria based in its like design, which I think is cool. I'll happily like support a project like that, but I don't really have the funds as a university student to spend on a luxury product in a medium that's hard to impress me. I am, of course, specifically talking about sandbox games. As I mentioned, like Terraria and Factorio really stick out to me because of what they do. You gotta have a good hook on your sandbox game to get me into it. And I don't see that in Hytale right now. To be fair, I haven't been following the development of it for years like everyone else has. I only really first heard about it when talks of it being canceled were floating about. Yeah, maybe I'll try it out at some point, but at the moment, I just don't really see a need to play it. But by all means, I would love to see more competitors in the sandbox game space. I just don't play a lot of new games, I guess. This is really just me pacing around my house in Minecraft talking about things that don't matter. I kind of implied that I was going to do a milestone for every single one of these recordings. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it would be a really good idea to stream this world. Not at the moment, because I'm a busy university student, but like sometime in the future. I think it would be good to stream this and just have like stream clips playing in the background. So that way it's more visually interesting than me jumping up and down the stairs. I can't really do world tours like I did in the first episode because things haven't really... Oh shoot. Hold on, something visually interesting is happening. Disable shader. Oh wow, it looks so different. Yeah, you can see, first of all, it's pitch black outside. But second of all, the lighting is all like weird, you know? Look, it's all red outside. Okay. So yeah, this is what the blood moons look like. Wow. Yeah, you can't sleep through them. I have to log this in my journal. Oh yeah, the last blood moon happened while I was tinkering with Steam engine stuff. And I didn't know how it worked, so I thought it was gonna explode while I couldn't tend to it. See, I had assumed that there was like a cooldown for blood moons. But I guess it's like Terraria, where they can just happen whenever. It's so scary. Can you imagine like how freaked out I was the first time one of these went off? Look at how many mobs are around me. Oh my god. I feel like it would be inappropriate to start talking about life when there's this doom gloom atmosphere around me. I feel like it sets a negative tone for how I feel right now. I did allude that seasonal depression was going to get me, but I don't think that's the case. Ignore the red. This is a good thing. As I mentioned earlier, my campus is closed. It's been closed today, which is a Sunday, so it's fine, but it's going to be closed tomorrow too, because the weather is really bad around here right now. I mean, I've seen campus close before, but this is like tomorrow will be the third day of closure over the course of a week, actually. Yeah, the weather is really bad right about now, but I wouldn't say it's made me depressed. It's just made me lazy. The only thing that gave me enough drive to complete that Terraria video was the fact that I wanted it out before 1.4.5. I guess that's just how seasonal stuff's been getting me. It's made me feel lazy. I just simply couldn't find the drive to work on anything, like work on my videos. I couldn't get myself to do it. Once I, was pushing myself to do it, I felt like I was in the mood to edit a lot more. Like, I feel like I'm in the mood to edit more videos, but I don't have a backlog right now. My laptop has been acting weird lately. It keeps just randomly freezing, and I have to like hard turn it off and back on again. I genuinely have no idea why it's happening, because it keeps happening under like unique circumstances every time. So if this video doesn't end up releasing, you know why. Actually, I don't think that makes any sense. Yeah, nothing's coming to mind. I think I've covered all the bases for what I've been up to this past month, or at least what's been happening to me. But yeah, I guess that's it. No real conclusion here. Probably not gonna do like a cinematic replay mod thing like I did Shut Up in the November episode, because I don't really have anything profound to say this time around. I'm surprised I've stuck to the series this long. I figured it was gonna die after a month or two. There's still no guarantee that I get through all 10 years of this series, but I want to. Like, who knows, maybe I go into like a 4-month long coma in 2032. I can't predict the future, but I'm gonna try my damnedest to get this out. Well, that's it from me this month. Hopefully I can showcase something a bit more visually interesting in February. See ya.